We're just about a week away from school getting started. Can you believe it? We've got Stephen Combs of the Bluffton Township Fire District joining us. A pretty good time then to get involved in thinking back to school and special safety procedures we ought to all be thinking about. Stephen, let's talk about things, maybe breaking it down by drivers, bikers, and pedestrians. Let's talk about drivers. What should we start to be thinking with school coming up so soon?
Sure. So, Bob, first of all, thanks for having me.
Sure.
It's always a pleasure to be with WHHI. And as we're looking at the school safety and getting back into school, recognizing that children can be unpredictable. And
Yeah.
I have 5 kids of my own. And so I've lived through watching them go through the various stages in school. But whenever you're in a school zone, make sure you're slowing down.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to anticipate a child who decides to dart across the street or something like that. So just be very mindful, slow down in those school zones, especially when you see the flashing light that indicates that there might be a crossing guard in the area. Please, please, please do everything you can to slow down and pay attention to the kids that might be around you.
Might not even be a bad idea to practice that over this next week. Even though the lights won't be flashing, you'll see the school signs. We all know where they are. Maybe slow it down now and kind of practice and get ready for it all.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
One of the other things that the
Sure.
Bluffton Township Fire District will be doing this year, like we did last year, is we'll be posting large banners near those traffic lights so that people are reminded that school's back in session, to please be aware that children are in the area.
That's a terrific idea. What about with kids walking to school and parents with kids who maybe are taking a different route to get to school or doing it for the first time?
Well, it used to be the thing where we would teach kids how to go across crosswalks, and I'm not so sure that that's become so fundamental anymore. But, encourage children that whenever they're coming to a crosswalk to always look both ways, even to make that eye contact with the driver. Try to make sure that that driver sees them before they try to proceed into the street. And then also, if they are walking and there's not a sidewalk in the area, walk facing traffic. That way, if there is a reason for them to get off the roadway quickly, they can see that and avoid any injury.
Yeah, but bikers go with traffic, walkers go facing it though, right?
That's correct. Yes,
Okay.
sir. That's correct.
I want to make sure I got that right. Now, for bus riders, that's a different kind of animal itself, isn't it?
Well, when I worked in another agency, we had a situation where a child was almost hit by a first responder because they were distracted. And even first responders, anybody can be distracted as they're driving. Mm-hmm. And so we want to encourage people, number one, pay attention to what's going on. When you see the bus yellow lights coming out, that means they're going to slow down. Those red lights indicate that bus is going to stop and children are either going to be getting on or off of it. So children should be taught to stand at least 6 feet away from the curb. And you say, well, how can I tell a child how far 6 feet is? Well, tell them to take 3 giant steps away from the side of the roadway, and that will help them get a better understanding of how far to stand away.
There you go. That's a terrific little measuring device to use. For kids riding bikes, we talked about riding with the traffic, but general bike safety is hard enough for us to figure out with all the visitors we have in the low country during the summer, but let's make a special emphasis of it as we get ready for school. A lot of kids riding their bikes to school. What are some of the things they should be doing?
Well, the number one thing we want to be thinking about is that protecting them, getting them in a properly fitted helmet.
Yes.
So that they're wearing that when they're going to school. There's a number of resources, both online and you can come to various law enforcement and public safety agencies, and we'll help get that helmet fitted properly.
If folks in the Bluffton area particularly go to a fire station, will you guys help them get things straightened out?
Sure, we can help them take a look at those things and make sure that their head is protected properly.
Okay. All right. Anything else we need to remind? I think we got everybody there.
Well, yeah, and just kind of going back to those bike riders, make sure that before they cross any street that they do, obey the traffic laws. Bicycles are essentially vehicles on the streets, and they are responsible for adhering to the same laws that we do as we're driving a vehicle. And kids sometimes don't realize that, and they just go ahead and run through red lights and avoid other traffic.
Pay real close attention, yeah, to when you get through intersections. Stephen, thanks so much for the help. We wish you and your 5 kids a happy start to school.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it.
All right, Stephen Combs, Public Information Officer for the Bluffton Township Fire District. We've still got more of the WHHI Daily News ahead. Stay with us.